Howdy folks, it's Average Joe back again. I know, is he ever gonna stop? Maybe not. I keep thinking of things that I want to share with you. So I talked the other day about, hopefully this is a short one by the way. I talked the other day about the different knots to use. Like I said, I'm still not gonna get into showing you how to tie knots because there's so many other YouTube videos out there that you can see. As a matter of fact, if you look at my homepage and you look at my playlists, fishing info tips and tricks, there's several videos in there that show how to tie knots. But I also talked about one knot specifically, the blood knot, that I used in my leader for the 2-hook setup. But I just wanted to show you that real quick. And as I was digging this leader out, I noticed something else I wanted to talk about. So I wanted to talk about the knots when I pulled out this leader. And like I said, I noticed something else. Look at that. It's all twisted up. And that's kind of not very straight, wound up. That's from being in that baggie I talked about in the last video. One day, and it's already done that. Which I wanted to talk about this. That's your line stripper or your line straightener. So, and you don't really want that situation because it gets tangled up. Look, it's already catching on the end of the leader because it's so kinked up. Now watch this. So you take that line straightener, line stripper, whatever you want to call it. You pinch that line in there like that. You hold it pretty tight and you go like this. Look at that. All straight. And that's just one time going down it. You can do that with the leader on the hook also. See how that's kinked up a little bit? Not a lot, but a little bit. One time down that, straight as an arrow. Go down this is between the hooks. See that kink in there? Gone, just like that. So that emphasizes the importance of having one of those little things in your kit. All right, so anyway, the reason I got this out is because I want to talk about the knots. And I talked about putting the blood knot, hooking up the hooks with the blood knot, and how it goes out at a 90-degree angle. Also, the reason I like the blood knot for this situation is because it cinches up well. It doesn't leave a loop. However, on the end of my leaders, I wanted a loop, so it's easy to hook on the weight or easy to hook into the snap swivel. So I wanted to leave a loop there. I did a different style knot there because it doesn't cinch up like the blood knot does. You cinch up the knot and it stays right where it's at. It creates a loop, which is what I wanted in that situation. So anyway, honestly, I don't remember the name of this knot that I tied here, but like I said, there's a lot of videos out there showing all different kinds of knots. And so you can pick one that you like and you can tie. You know, most of the knots you're going to see out there are pretty secure. Like I said, though, when you cinch a knot, do not use spit. It's an acid. It will reduce the strength of your knot. Do not cinch it dry or it won't cinch up correctly. Use water. Water, it'll cinch up good. Doesn't deteriorate it, but very important to use water when you cinch up a knot. Okay? So that's all I wanted to talk about that. I also mentioned in a previous video things you want to bring in like your survival kit also. I talked about a survival knife. Got a pretty good one there. Like I said, I bought it on sale. It's very hard to find a survival knife. I also mentioned a pack shovel. Not a real big fan of pack shovels because they're heavy. They don't pack very well. They're We're talking emergency fishing and survival kit here. You don't want a lot of weight in there. Look what I found. Like I said, not normally a fan of these things, but I want to show you this. I found this. It's like half or a third of the price of others that I've seen out there, and very small and compact. It's in that little pouch right there. It's got a belt loop, so you can put it on the belt if you like. Put it on a strap on your backpack. If you decide to do this, I'm not saying you have to, but I'm saying this is an option. I'm going to show you this. Look at that. That whole thing, size of my hand. That's not very big. So, anyway, you take it out of the pack. Screw in this extension to the handle. Just like that. Flip that open. Like that. To lock it into place. It's got that collar that you spin down. You can spin it down in this position. You can use it as a little pick right there, or a hoe, garden hoe I'm talking about. Put it in this situation, or in this angle. Tighten down the collar. You got a shovel. Got a pretty sharp edge. You could also use this as a fence. You whack somebody over the head with that. It's got a pretty good sharp edge to it. If you have to. Survival situation. Obviously, it's not going to do as good a situation to protect yourself as that survival knife would, but it's a thought. Anyway, yeah, like I said, in the past, I have not been a fan of packed shovels. But, hey, if you need one, you need one. And that's a pretty good option there. Pretty light. Not any heavier than that water bottle right there. Talked about putting things in perspective. The knife's about the same weight. So, I know some people just aren't comfortable with weapons or knives or, a larger survival knife like that. I get it. Some people just aren't comfortable with that. Also, a multi-tool. I talked about a multi-tool. The advantages of multi-tool over, back that up pretty quick. Advantages of a multi-tool over a Swiss Army knife. Don't get me wrong, Swiss Army knives are awesome. But the one major advantage to a multi-tool, got the plier, needle nose plier set up. I found this one. I talked about a popular brand. They do have a tendency to be expensive. You can spend a lot of money. I found a couple out there that were American money. I found one that was $200 for a multi-tool. Outrageous. This was 50 bucks. Half the price of a different brand. Both of good quality, don't get me wrong there. I honestly believe this is good quality. I don't want to endorse anybody or anyone to think that they're endorsing me. That's why I'm hiding the name. Very good multi-tool. It has 17 tools included in it, and half the price. Half the price is what I expected to spend with a tool like that. The survival knife, I mentioned weapons briefly. I was not going to talk about guns in this, but I'm going to make a brief statement about it. Guns are very controversial, obviously. Here in the States, they're more accepted than other parts of the world. I am a gun owner. I wouldn't say I'm a fanatic about guns, but they do have a purpose. But some people are just not comfortable with them. The purpose of a gun is one of two things: kill or be killed, or kill or, let me rephrase that, kill or keep from being killed. Defense or, hunting, that kind of thing. So, big differences in guns that you would use in different situations. A hunting rifle, for instance, is good for that, hunting. Not so good for defense. If you are in a dangerous situation, you're trying to protect yourself, a hunting rifle is not very good. A lot of hunting rifles are basically single shot. If you don't make that first shot, they're on top of you. You can't defend yourself. A gun for defense, exact opposite. Say a pistol or a revolver, not so good for hunting. So keep that in mind. If you are going to pack a gun with you in a survival situation, what do you want to use it for? I suppose you could take two guns, one for hunting and one for defense, but guns are heavy, so may not be so practical. Also, like I said, guns are more accepted here in the States and other parts of the world. They're not. Are you going to be in a situation where it's going to get you in more trouble than it will to defend yourself? So that's something else to keep in mind. I do not recommend a gun for someone that is not willing to use it to protect themselves. If you have a gun and you're not willing to make that choice, it's most likely someone's going to take it away from you and use it against you. So, words of wisdom for Joe about guns, from Joe about guns. That's all I had to say today. That's all I had to talk about today. Still planning on doing, hopefully, a live field trip to kind of show you how to use that fishing kit, your emergency fishing kit. All right? Thank you very much for your time. Have a great day. Straight lines, or tight lines. Whoops, screwed that up. Have a good evening.